I played RuneScape for over a decade. Let's talk about Jagex's new game. Dragons, Wilderness, Dragonwilds, RuneScape. Welcome to the show where I play numerous games that I've never touched before and judge them after only a few hours. Companies and indie devs release new games every day, contending with one another, just trying to get a crumb of attention from the populace that's so engrossed in TikTok or social media that when they finally manage to get someone's attention, they get judged on whether or not the game is good within a short window of time. I'm giving these games a window of 5 hours total to capture my attention, enthrall me, and make me hungry for more. And in that time, I'm going to note down how I felt playing it. How are the visuals, the gameplay, the voice acting, the story? Where do they fall in the spectrum of quality? I suppose we'll find out when it's judged by the cover. There isn't a whole lot of depth when it comes to the story of this game right now. Dragonwilds is in early access, but it has a main story quest line and a few side quests at the time of this video. The quests are really fun progression points to lead you through each area and kind of make sure you stay in the right zones at the right times with the right gear. And obviously, like I said, it's early access, so the story isn't fully fleshed out yet, so it's expected to be a little jank. I will say one of my bigger gripes about the questing in this game and just the dialogue in general is that there's no voice acting, because it feels like the story in literally any quest line is very easy to completely skip over and not give a shit about. I know Jagex is able to write wildly amazing lore when they want to. They do it in RuneScape all the time. And it was cool to see the characters that I grew up with in like a different light and get expanded upon in a new space and a new genre. But I need Jagex to make me want to follow the lore in this game, where even if you're doing a quest, it can be dropped at literally any point to go gather materials or to build something or to go fight something. They're really good bones in this game when it comes to the questing system. I like it. I like having the little missions and like being able to find objects in the world or interact with things that give you the quest so they're not immediately available or shown somewhere that you can get that and they're kind of hidden. I like that. It adds a level of depth and it makes me want to explore more to find more quests. But like I said, when you're doing the quests, you don't really want to stick with them once you get them. There's that initial spark when you first get the quest, like the ghost speak amulet in the well, and you're like, oh shit, oh my god, it's Restless Ghost, like I need to go do this. And then you talk to the first NPC and like you get a little confused, so you just don't continue it. Or maybe that was just me. I don't know. But either way, I talked to the first ghost in the Restless Ghost quest, and then I didn't do the other ghosts for an entire day and a half, maybe 2 days. Because there was no need to. It didn't capture me. I went back and completed the quest when I was almost done with all of the available content in the game, just so that I could have it done. I didn't want to do it when I got it. I just completed it as a means to an end. But obviously with an early access game, it's like you're asking for an early access survival game to have a fully fleshed out story. That's just never going to happen. That's totally fine too. But I do hope and I pray that it is amazing on full release. I have very high hopes. Alright, let's talk about the graphics, the art style. It's good, nothing groundbreaking, definitely passable, and honestly, I think it's totally fine for a game like this to just be passable. They don't need to break new ground, they don't need to carve a path for how something looks. I mean, you're allowed to feel differently, obviously. I do sort of wish some of the textures of the building materials lined up better, but it's not a complete deal breaker, just quality of life stuff. Like the floors of like the smallest square block are just like the big square blocks sized down. I wish that they just left it sized up and like it was able to blend in with the bigger tiles, but it's such a minor thing. It's like, who actually cares about that? Probably just me. The monsters in the game look really good. It was so awesome seeing like Kebits and Chinchampas and a friggin' abyssal demon come to life in this game in a 3D space. It really hit that nostalgia. I really got a nostalgia boner for that, I won't lie. It was so sick. And it made me feel so hyped for what's coming next when they release new parts of the game and stuff. But everything looks good. I mean, the environments look really nice, the monsters look really nice, the NPCs look really nice. Everything's fine. You know, there's nothing to write home about, like I said, but it's really good. Alright, on to the gameplay, which is probably going to be the biggest section because that's obviously, there's a shitload of gameplay in this game despite the fact that it's early access. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of systems in this game that you can take part in already. Survival, base building, questing, boss fights. This game has a lot of things to do for a brand new early access game. I definitely think it'll be an insanely high tier full release game. It feels very fleshed out and nowhere near the bullshit slop that has been half released in recent times from most other game studios. The building feels good, although the snapping can be god awful at times. And please, for the love of God, we need more piece types that can seamlessly fit together. Combat is actually kind of difficult in this game. Like, even at the max tier gear, which is tier 4, I feel like if I took a fight weird, I could still absolutely get shit on by a warband of tier 1 goblins. Granted, this could be a good or bad, I suppose. It's good to make things that can kill you not feel negligible to a degree, but I also think that problem could be instantly solved by replacing the goblins with a higher tier mob, and it just won't even be a problem. Plus, that's easier than rebalancing everything. I do think they need to sort out the ability to safe spot stuff. You shouldn't come across an abyssal demon, a tier 4 boss monster, and be able to safe spot it on a rock with a bow because it can't reach or teleport to you. It makes no sense and it just feels bad from a gameplay experience standpoint. I'm really excited to see where this game goes and see what new armor types and weapons come to life from one of my favorite childhood games, but I know I'm gonna have to wait a while, and that's fine. In the game, there's vaults, which are like little dungeons with traps and monsters and a boss at the end. These dungeons house materials that you need to make lodestones, which allow you to teleport around the map to other lodestones, as long as you have the required law runes. Vaults are really fun, but kind of fall victim to the safe spotting nonsense I talked about before. And yeah, it's like, I know, just don't safe spot, but I just don't think it should even be an option. Imagine finding a boss in Elden Ring and you could just jump on top of a rock and use magic on it. It's just bad for the game, it's bad for balancing, especially when those bosses drop really good things like the Abyssal Demon or like in the vaults getting those materials. It just feels lame, but the design of them are really cool. All the traps, it kind of feels like Indiana Jonesy. It's a cool break from just going out and killing stuff or gathering mats. It gives you a little dungeon crawler. The game has hunger, thirst, and flexing. Sorry, resting, my bad. It just has a bicep icon for some reason. These are fine. It was really annoying the first day or two after release, because thirst especially just felt like you were constantly having to top up your bars. But I think on like day 3 or something, they buffed the drinks, so it became significantly more bearable. It still needs a little fine tuning probably, but it's definitely closer to where it needs to be. Resting is an interesting mechanic as your character gets more tired. It lowers your carrying capacity and max stamina. I absolutely think that there's a place for this mechanic, but it just doesn't feel super fun right now. Like if it's daytime and you need to rest up, you just have to lay in your bed and go AFK until the gauge is full again, which really doesn't feel conducive to a fun time playing the game. It just doesn't feel great. I like that there's a necessity to sleeping and a punishment for not doing so in a survival game. It makes sense, but I find myself getting annoyed when I get my punishment for not sleeping during the middle of the day and you just have to sit there with your penis in your hand waiting for the bar to go up. You can't do anything else. You just have to lay in bed and stare at your character. Another big gripe I have is the stack limits. They just feel so nonsensical and inconsistent. Ground stone stacks to 99, but ground sandstone stacks to 50, but both stone and sandstone stack to 50. I couldn't deduce any consistency as to any rhyme or reason something stacked to their specific limits whatsoever. And it's fine if you have different stack limits, that's not the issue. The issue is that there's no consistency as to why things stack to the way they do. If you're gonna have different stack limits, make them make sense. You know, stone and sandstone stack to 50, ground sandstone stacks to 99, ground stone stacks to 50. Just make them both 99 or both 50. I don't even care if I have to carry 2 stacks instead of 1, because it's the same weight regardless. Just make them make sense. Also a minor nitpick, because I come from a RuneScape background, this won't matter to a lot of people that don't play RuneScape or don't care even for that matter. I feel like the potions should be similar to that of like the recipes in RuneScape. You know, if you're making an anti-poison potion, I feel like they should be in line. It's still the RuneScape universe, you know, so even though it's a different continent, whatever, like it's still the RuneScape universe. So the potion recipes should still be at least similar. You know, in RuneScape, the potions, their primary ingredient is always an herb, okay? and an anti-poison potion in RuneScape, the primary herb is a Marentil, which is in Dragonwilds, but when you go to make an anti-poison potion, you use a Harlander instead. I feel like there should also be a little bit of consistency there. Just a minor nitpick. It really doesn't matter in terms of like the fun factor, but like as a RuneScape player, I would have appreciated that a lot. Overall, I think this game is worth it. It's $30 on Steam as of this video, and I would say it's worth every dollar. If you've enjoyed Valheim, I've never played it, but I've had numerous friends tell me that it's basically just that, but better, being less jank, and with a RuneScape skin on top of it. I have a few friends who've literally never touched a survival game like this before, but they tried it because it had the RuneScape IP attached, and that familiarity alone was enough to get them sucked into it and try a new genre of game, which is awesome. I think that a lot of people probably won't play the game because it's RuneScape, but I think even more people will play it because they'll see the word RuneScape and be like, oh shit, I tried that game when I was a kid. I used to play that. What the hell they got going on here? They made a Valheim game? That rocks. I'm trying that. If nothing else, try it out for 2 hours. You know what I mean? There's tons and tons and tons of potential for this game, and I think since it's a static map, it'll get the updates it needs relatively quickly, which is awesome. Something I didn't talk about yet though was the parry system in the game, which I really enjoyed, but it felt like there was no point in using it because range was so strong compared to melee, despite the fact that you can't even naturally level range, and there's no unlocks for it even if you find an XP tome to level it up, but it's still just so strong. Hitting a perfect parry felt so rewarding, so hopefully melee feels a bit better in the full release later down the line too, because I would really love to commit to that fully. There's definitely both minor and major gripes that I have with the game, being its early release, but since this is the overall thoughts section, I'm just gonna say I genuinely think this game is good and will be great. It has the potential to be one of the staple open world co-op survivalcraft games, and I hope it realizes that expectation I have for it now. You don't have to have any knowledge of RuneScape to enjoy this game, and if you do have that knowledge, then it literally just adds to the already fun experience the game creates. Just don't blow through the quests and say you beat it. Enjoy the game for what it is and experience the ride. That's all for my thoughts on Dragonwilds, guys. If you have anything that you would like to say about Dragonwilds, then let me know in the comments. Drop a sub while you're down there. I hope you guys have a good day or night and a better day tomorrow. My name's Agora, and this has been Therapeutic. Bye bye.